All right, welcome back to Random Stupid Shit for Season 2, Episode 3. I'm here, I'm your host, Ken Snow, and I have Shell with me. How's it going, Shell?
Doing good. How's everyone doing? Riding the storm out.
Riding the storm out. Before we get to tonight's subject, which is ghost stories. Yes. I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners that she has told us before that she listens to us, Mama Nelson. Mama Nelson's Hello. Back to listening to us again. Listen to Season 2 up in somewhere up in the Minnesota area, way up there. And I want to give a shout out to her community that she has listened to us and let them know that, the older generation, they don't get into emails and stuff. But you know what? If you want to get a hold of us and somebody who uses emails, send us an email, kensnowstudio@gmail.com.
I'd say mail me a letter, but my mailman drinks. You don't know whose mail. I get like 10 different addresses every day.
Yeah, don't send her an email because her mailman drinks and you never know what she's going to get. So it's probably best that you don't do that. But yeah, send us an email or even comment on the. You can comment on the show right under it in the comments. You can make a comment on there. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're liking. Let us know what you don't like. Hey, I'm easy to get along with.
I've heard that.
After all, it won't hurt my feelings. You can ask Shell. Shell says all the time, you don't have any feelings. Yeah, I don't have any feelings. My kids have said their entire lives, Dad's got one feeling, but we just ain't figured out what it is yet. But I just wanted to.
All huddled up in a bathroom at night.
Yeah, no.
Because you hold your feelings in all the time.
I restrain them, hold them back.
Oh, poor thing. All right. Yeah.
But I just wanted to put that out there that we are, let us know. We'll talk. We'll see. You got a subject. Hey, I'm sure that there's some listeners out there that got a subject they just want to talk about.
Yes.
They gotta be
story time.
Gotta be story time. Okay.
That's it.
All right. So we're going to get into tonight's subject. Tonight's subject is ghost stories. Now, do you want to go ahead and lead off with some ghost stories, or you want me to get right into mine?
Well, I have not heard yours yet, and I'm very eager to hear it. But I kind of told you a little bit of mine, and you said it sounded almost the same. It had some identical things there. This is wild. I'm sitting in my car, and the mile thing came to 666. No evil spirits.
No evil spirits here.
But yes, I'd love to hear this story.
Well, the reason why she's saying that our stories are similar is because I don't have any personal ghost stories. My ghost story comes from a really good friend of mine, a guy that I trust. If he tells me that wall is blue, then I don't care if it is red. It's blue because I trust him. He's always been 100% with me, and I've known him for my entire life. So,
but what does that have anything to do with if a wall is blue or red?
Well, it has to do with the fact that if he tells me, I believe it.
You believe it. All
right.
So
if he tells me, and this is what we're going to get into, in the city of Louisville, Kentucky. Now I don't live in Louisville, Kentucky, but in the city of Louisville, Kentucky, this is where my friend lives, and there's a place. It's called Waverly Hills Sanitarium. All right. Now, Waverly Hills Sanitarium is a facility that in the early part of the century, in the early part of the century, late part of the, early part, this is 2024, in the early 1900s, late 1800s, it was a tuberculosis hospital.
Yes.
Because they really misunderstood tuberculosis and how to cure it and stuff. So they would send people there.
Cruel stuff to the patients, too. They did cruel stuff.
Yeah, they would send people to Waverly Hills, and I would assume they came from all over the country. I'm not really sure.
Yes, because it was considered the state-of-the-art place to go. So you had very influential people there. It wasn't no poor beggars hospital.
Yeah.
Well, cutting edge.
I have I think a couple of uncles that actually passed away there.
Yes.
But anyway,
my mom told stories of going and visiting relatives there.
Yeah, but anyway, if you've seen pictures, or if you're a listener that's nearby and you've gone to it, it is a really strange looking place. It's at 4301 East Pages Lane, which is off of the Dixie Highway area. It's on the southwestern side of Louisville. 4400 Parley Drive is the address, but I think to get in there, you got to go in through 4301 East Pages Lane. But anyway, so this place, now when we were younger, this place was kind of just an abandoned facility. It was just...
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, it was...
The new owners didn't get it until 2001, and since then they've let all the ghost shows in there, and they've let people take tours. They do it as a Halloween thing since 2001, but before that it was shut down in 1961, I believe.
Yeah, you could book a visit and go there right now.
Yeah.
And
I would never step foot in that place again. Nope.
Well, the place was just a hulk. I mean, it was just a building, all the windows broken out of it. It was just nothing. But you could go up there. It was actually fairly easy to get to. You could walk up the hill and get to it. There was nothing around it to keep you out. And it was just, some places that the younger generation would go and hang out and stuff.
As teenagers, we would park at the apartments down there, and then we would go up the back side of the hill and pull a board back and go right on in. And when it was shut down, they left everything.
Yeah.
There was still operating tables, patient records, everything was just left there.
Yeah, it was all just hanging out.
Very creepy, yes.
Just left there.
Just peeling. Yeah, it was creepy.
So at some point in time, I think maybe the 90s, I'm not really sure. It was before the current owners, got it in 2001. This friend of mine was hired by the people that owned it at the time as a security guard. Now, his job was to hang out there at night, and he had night vision goggles. He had all this stuff, and he would literally watch teenagers. He would watch people come up and go inside. He said he always let them get inside. He never would stop them from going in. And then when they went in, and he said, and then when they went in, he knew, all the entrances, because he did this for years. Literally, he did this for years. And he would let them go inside, and then once they got inside, he would walk in, and then he would walk up behind them. He said rarely did he actually have to apprehend anybody or grab anybody, because all he had to do was walk up behind them, and they wouldn't go. because
I guarantee you.
they would be freaked out. But now,
Yes, they psych yourself up.
right now, so it sounds like I'm saying that there was no ghost, that it was him doing this to people. But he says, and I get goosebumps just talking about it. He says that
Really?
it's legit.
Yeah.
He said there are legit ghosts there. And he said they're not there to harm you. He said, really, there's no real reason to be scared of ghosts because they're not there to harm you. They're just lost. They don't know where to go.
They got something they're wanting to say, lost, or
Yeah,
something.
they're
It's
just
the demons
lost.
you worry about.
The ghosts are not scared. The ghosts are not there to hurt you. The ghosts are just confused.
No, and a lot of it is just something I think with space-time metrics, and something is just replaying a memory over and over, and it's somewhere in the space, and it's just a glitch somewhere, and you see it.
Yeah, but
I think a lot of it's that. Yeah.
so what he would do is the owners, the people that he worked for, they would have him, like, there's been various people and reasonably famous people that would say, "Oh, I don't believe," they would say, "Well, have him take you up to, I think it was the third floor on a certain side of the third floor." And they would take you up to that spot, and he would say, "Okay, just stay right here a few minutes." Well, is that all it's going to take? Yeah, that's it. Just hang out right here. And he said that no sooner than they would stop and stand there for a few minutes and get quiet, you could see the ghost come down the hallway.
Yeah.
Towards you. And he said one time he was up there with a couple of guys, and
What was the ghost?
It was just people.
Was it just
people?
It was just people.
Yeah, just people
coming. Okay.
Yeah, just people walking. And he said one time they were up there, and there was three of them. They were standing there, and the guy taps him on the shoulder and says, "Do you see this?" And he looks over and he says, "Yes, I see it too." There was a ghost that was literally standing right beside him.
Yeah.
And he said that when they walked down and they went out, that guy said, "I'm never going back in there in my life, ever." I'm never going back in. And then, but he said that he could do that anytime. I mean, he could take you up there right now if you wanted to. He said, you want to go? He said, I can get a hold of the current owners and I can take you up there right now. I'm like, no.
I have never talked to anybody that has not experienced something if they've gone there.
Yeah, no. Now I've gone there. We went there a couple of times, but we went there
with the trick or treating stuff.
Yeah, we went there for the whole haunted house stuff and everything.
Yeah, that's something different, I think. Now
I
went to that too, and I didn't experience nothing.
So he says that, okay, you go to the third floor, you're guaranteed. He said, but there are in other parts, but that third floor, guaranteed. And then he said, well, and then there was the one time, and then this is where it kind of ties in with your story. He said that the owners, him and the owners were standing out in front of the building, and a white dog came up and was standing next to him. And when they reached down to pet the dog just disappeared.
That's one of the good ones that was warning you.
Yeah. And now
protected.
And that's my ghost story. And whenever I think about it, and when he was telling me, I was like, no, thank you. Nah. I'm not saying it, I'm not saying it's not real. I believe you. If you tell me, I believe you. But he said that once you experience seeing ghosts on a regular basis, then you cannot not see ghosts.
Deny it. Yeah, you can't deny it. And then once they know you see them, they seek you.
Yeah.
Because especially if they got something to say.
And I will say that I used to work with this guy, and I asked him, I said, well, have you ever seen any ghost here? And he said, yeah.
I guarantee you.
And I'm like, oh boy, okay. Well, as long as they stay over here. I mean, I'm not scared of them or anything, but the fact is that I just like my life the way it is. I don't want anything getting out of it.
That's all I need to know, probably.
Yeah, I
Never
just,
think.
I like my drama-free life. I like it. It's good. Hey.
Well, I reckon, but you gotta live life. I mean, that's the whole
Uh,
thing is to experience it.
no, no,
Like
no.
when Jack told Rose to keep going on the Titanic. I want you to do this and this and this, and yeah, you gotta.
Well,
That's what
Titanic 2
gets
is
it
coming out, right?
racing. What?
The Titanic 2 is coming out.
Yeah, I've seen previews.
Yeah,
That door was big enough for both of you.
Jack is alive. I
Yeah,
probably done spoiled it for all our listeners. They're all like, what? Yes, Jack
yeah.
is
Well,
alive. There is a Titanic 2.
yes, yes, yes. Up there in Minnesota, they've probably heard of this, where people, if they die suddenly, like getting froze and they're underwater, I think there's been kids brought back to life that's been underwater for 40 minutes, and they're brought back to life.
Well, I can believe
So
that.
when they was paddling through to save Rose, they probably hit him with a paddle, made him open his eyes and take a deep breath. For some reason, he's floating face up, and yeah, that's what happened. I guarantee you.
So that's my ghost story for the
Very
evening.
good.
So, what kind of a ghost story do you have?
Well, it was an October night of 1984, actually. I remember it very well. And it was one of those where you had, they call heat lightning going through the sky, and it nice and windy, just a awesome night. And a bunch of us were planning to go up to Waverly, break in, and go through it. Take up a little cooler of beer. There ended up being like 15 of us. We all go in. And I thought I kept seeing stuff just out of the corner of my eye, just stuff moving on the walls, up and down and over me. Very weird. And if you watch any of the documentaries on the hauntings of Waverly that they've done in 2000 and stuff, this is the stuff that they reported. That there was this thing they call the creeper, and he just kind of stays and hugs and scrunched down like a frog, but with extra long arms and legs, and he crawls on the wall, side walls, and the ceiling. That's what I was seeing, and that kind of freaks me out. And then, so it was some kind of creature. And then when we was up on the roof, and it was where they had like all these little incubators and stuff where people would have kids while they're there and different stuff. And then it was the operating room was all upstairs, and that's where they did terrible things. They would put to help them breathe. They thought if they put balloons inside their lungs and blow them up, that it would help give them their lungs more capacity for air. And then they took out ribs and just lobotomy. They did so much stuff to these poor people, and how bad that would have been. But so we was up there, and we hear a security guard, and he start yelling, "All y'all get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. I've already called the cops." And we're like, "Oh shit," because my mom done told me before I left. She always knew what I was going to do somehow, and would catch me if I cut school. She just so happened to ride by. But she's like, "Don't you call me if you get locked up." So we all take off running, and it was me and my boyfriend at the time and my best friend. She come with me that night, and we all rode together. So we take off running down the hill, and there's these dogs. We start hearing these dogs, and we turn and look, and there's three black Dobermans, and they're running after us, and we're running. I mean, I've never ran this fast, and it sounds like they're just right there behind you, ready to grab you. And we get all the way down, and you can see the car, and we're running, running. We get about 20 feet from the car. The dogs, you just didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear anything, nothing. We kept running, but the dogs just disappeared. And but there were cops down there too, and that's another whole story one day. But then the next time I seen the cops was, I mean, not the cops.
Yeah,
Next time
the next
I
time,
seen
that's a
that
whole nother story.
another story. Yeah, the cops at the bottom of Waverly Hill. Yeah, that's a funny story. And but the next time it was in '98, the winter of '98, and I was coming down. It's an old highway in Bardstown, Kentucky. Coming down it, it's snowing, and right in front of me, them dogs jumped right in front of the car. And so I started reading up on hellhounds then. And supposedly, you see them before they kill you. You see them 3 times in life. Yeah, so I've seen them twice now, and they are hellhounds.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so either this tornado's going to get me tonight or a hellhound.
So if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky, if you're
Check
ever
it out.
if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky, or if you live in Louisville, Kentucky, but if you live in Louisville, Kentucky, you already know. But if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky, check out Waverly Hills. They have 2-hour paranormal tours for $25.
And people see stuff every day. I mean, it is so active. It's in the top 10 of the world's most haunted places. It's in the top 10
Yeah,
of the world.
You can get
And
a
then
private.
The other one is like Ohio State Penitentiary is another one, and Pennhurst. Pennhurst is as bad as Waverly, if you ask me.
You can get a private overnight investigation for $1,000.
Yeah, the travel show, Discovery, all of them's done shows on them.
Oh, yeah. It's 4400 Paralee Drive, Louisville, Kentucky, 40272.
Come through Gate A. Now they let you in.
Yeah, now they'll let you in. They'll charge you, but they'll let you in. Back in the day, they didn't let us in. Although I never went there, so I can't say.
It was just a little bit later after I'd went there in the 80s that they found a body in the elevator shaft that had been there a while. And then they've got this thing, and it's called the body chute. It originally was built for heat in the house, but so many people were dying there, they didn't want the patients to see it, them taking the other people out, so they just took them through this, and it's a big, long tunnel way down there, and it's called the body chute. And the reason why they had security guards and everything up there is because there was always dead bodies found up there, and they don't know how they died. It was always mysterious, and a lot of the psychics say it's that creeper guy. So
yeah, the body chute is a 600-foot long.
600 foot. I knew it was a long, and it's like at a 45-degree angle going down, so you feel like you're. Because even in Halloween, when they have it set up as a haunted house, they send you through the body chute.
It was It was used to discreetly move thousands of corpses through the facility.
Yes. Yeah. It's nuts. And then they got that nurse that killed herself there. She was pregnant and not married. And she's a real famous haunt. A lot of people have seen her. I bet you this place has made so many non-believers believers.
Yep. Yep. Waverly Hills. That's the ultimate ghost stories for Kentucky right there.
So what's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
I don't know about scariest, but the movie that really had an effect probably, and it probably had a lot to do with when I saw it. I was young when I saw it, was The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Now, yeah. That's everybody I know's my son and my old man.
I mean, now I watch it, I'm kind of like, really? But, when you see it when you're a kid, that movie is, whew.
I watched it not too long ago, and I can't believe because I was seen it when I was younger. So, and I really hadn't watched it since. And the mouth on that little girl. Oh my! I didn't realize. I guess I didn't know what half the words meant. Because now I listen to it, and I'm like, oh my!
I didn't know what the words meant. I didn't know exactly what she was saying.
The movie that scared me the most, affected me the most, would have to be Salem's Lot. That ghoul that was in there. That and that old movie where the people grab you from underneath the sand and pull you down under. The mole people. Yeah. They affected me the most. The mole people and the ghoul. Mm.
All right. Well, that's all for today's show. So, hey, do you have a ghost?
Stupid, random stuff.
What?
I didn't get to do. Did you know a dragonfly sees so fast that it sees you move before you move?
Well, that could be another episode. That's not ghost stories.
Okay. I know, but I always give some random stupid fact too.
Well, you got to have your joke. You got a joke that's ghost related.
Don't sleep. Okay. Bullfrogs can't sleep. All right, now I got my jokes. I got a joke, and they're ghost jokes.
Well, that works out good.
Why can't a ghost become a father?
Why can't a ghost become a father?
Because of their hollow weenies.
Because they have hollow weenies?
Yeah.
There's nothing in them? Or nothing comes out of them, I guess?
All right, forget. Let's go to the next one. Why didn't the ghost cross the road?
Why didn't the ghost cross the road?
He had no guts.
He had no guts.
No guts.
Okay.
Well, why did Popeye punch the Pope?
Why did Popeye punch the Pope?
He heard he wanted to mount Olive.
He heard he wanted to mount Olive?
Yes. Olive Oil, his girlfriend, Mount Olive.
Yeah, well.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. Two sex workers sitting on a corner discussing business, and the first sex worker says, I think it's going to be a great night. I smell cock in the air. And the other sex worker looked at her and said, no, I just burped. No?
All right.
Thank you very much.
The studio audience liked that one. All right. So we're wrapping it up for today. And what's next week's topic?
I don't have my book with me.
Yeah, well, I don't
have my joke book.
I don't have mine either. So all I'm going to say then is you got to stay tuned. Wait for the next season 2, episode 4 to drop next Friday.
Next Friday.
What's
it going to be about?
What date is that? I don't even know what this Friday is. Let's see. See, till the 10th. So this episode is coming out on May 10th of 2024. So May 17th, 2024. Yeah, we don't know what it is. So you just have to listen. There you go.
Well, there you go.
That'll keep people coming back. Well, they don't know what it is. Yeah, well.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, having fun. Random stupid shit. That's what we do.
Shit, that's it. Bullfrogs cannot sleep.
Bullfrogs cannot sleep.
Fact.
They have narcolepsy. Or the reverse narcolepsy.
Now, I could tell a very funny story about a guy that drove around everywhere that I knew, and he had narcolepsy. And he had this little poodle that he kept with him that would lick his face and bring him back because he couldn't stay awake. And then my cop story. So I need to tell my cop story from the Waverly. That's a pretty funny one in my life.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that again. Okay.
All righty. Y'all have a good one. Michelle, yeah. You do you.
All right. You do you. We'll do us. And we'll see you next time on the Random Stupid Shit.